Hey, Renov8 family, this is Nate Jordan, the student pastor at Beaumont's First Baptist Church. And man, this is an unprecedented time during this COVID-19 time and quarantine, but we're going to try to harness this a little bit. And we really want to use this as an opportunity to spread the gospel. Missions is a big heartbeat of our faith family and of our church. And missions is basically sharing the good news of Jesus Christ for the purpose of salvation of the lost in a particular context. And so normally that looks like a group of us going out somewhere, maybe to Portland, Oregon, or to the Wasu people in Brazil, or maybe even Europe, Eastern Europe in the future. But for now, that's not really a possibility for us because of the restrictions that have placed upon us. But we want to harness that and be opportunistic and an opportunity to share the gospel on our social medias, on our cell phones, through texting, phone calls, writing letters, whatever medium that we have to communicate with others. We want to use that to share the gospel. And that's our commission, is to make disciples. And a disciple is made initially when they hear the gospel message and they give their life to Christ, and Jesus comes in and gives them a new heart and they're born again. That's the beginning of making disciples. Now the rest of it comes after is training them to obey all of Jesus's commands, one of which is to go and to share. And when Jesus says that the fields are white for harvest and the laborers are few, we want to give you an opportunity to be a laborer in God's kingdom and to go and make disciples. And so we're going to ask, particularly this time, but this training that we're going to do 4 videos of, myself and Molly Lund are going to do 4 video trainings on how to do online or cell phone evangelism, if you will. And really any of this can be if you're a letter writer and you want to write letters, you could do this. But this is not, we're not going to be able to meet at the coffee shop and talk over this. And so this is where we are right now. And so we're going to be 4 video training sessions about how this might look and what you might be able to do. And for those of you that are wanting it to take place right now, from this Sunday, April 5th, which is Palm Sunday, until Easter Sunday, April 12th, we want to have a concentrated effort to share the gospel and to have spiritual conversations with people. Around Easter time is people are generally thinking about spiritual things because of Easter. Most people know what Easter is, and they at least know that we get some time off from school normally. And a lot of you were about to get a week off from school. And so the opportunity is there to discuss. Every Easter Sunday, we have the most people in our worship services that we have throughout the entire year. And so that tells me that people are thinking about these things. And Palm Sunday, Easter Sunday, this is the time where this message is at the forefront. When Palm Sunday to Easter Sunday is called the Passion Week. And that's the last week of Jesus' life, culminating on Friday in his crucifixion and his burial, and then his resurrection on Sunday, which allows us to have new life. And so we want to share that message of hope. And right now, people need hope. The government cannot offer us any hope right now. The doctors are working hard, but up to this point, they haven't really given us any hope. The best solution that people have for us in the world right now is to just stay home and put your life on hold. Well, that's not a hopeful message. But the hope of Jesus Christ can penetrate any darkness. And so we want you to be able to share that. And so our videos are going to be framed into 4 categories: the what, the why, the how, and then finally is the now. What do I do now? And so today's the what, and it's very simple. It's just we want you to use your influence, whatever that may look like: social media, texting, phone calls, 6 foot apart conversations across the fence, whatever means that you have at your disposal right now. Zoom calls, Google Meets, whatever app you're using to communicate, right? Or whatever medium you're using to communicate, we want you to start communicating some spiritual content out there and to host some spiritual conversations. And so that's the what, is to get your influence geared towards the what of making disciples and having those spiritual conversations. Evangelism is sharing the good news. right? And sometimes we want to hide away from this message of the gospel like it's bad news. It's the best news out there. It's hope for your soul. It's forgiveness. It's contentment. It's everlasting life. It is everything that we need. And so this message is the most hopeful message we can share. And so I hope that you will take this seriously and prayerfully. And so that's some things we want you to do going into it. We want you to pray. Start praying for a burden for those around you who don't know Jesus. It's probably not their fault, right? It might be because no one's told them. It might be because they've never seen a friend live it out in a real way. And so that might be the case. We want you to learn, all right? Use a guide that we have for you. You can go to gostudents.org and click on the link right on that page that says Online Mission Project, and a PDF file will come on your screen, and they'll have all the information that we're going to use. So I would suggest to you to get that downloaded on your computer, on your phone. I wouldn't print it. It's a lot of big pictures, but you can if you want. But save it on your computer or your phone for you to use. And it's an opportunity for help with this. And so we want you to begin by praying. The second thing is we want you to learn, right? Learn how to do this. Read about it. Watch these videos. Call myself. Call Molly Lund is going to be helping me, our resident pastor of missions. And so call her up and ask her for help on this. All right? We want you to plan. I want you to make a plan for Sunday to Sunday, the 5th through the 12th. How am I going to interact with people each day? Maybe it's a list of names. Maybe I write out a list of names of people that I want to talk to. Maybe it's a list of content. On Monday, I'm going to share a verse. Tuesday, I'm going to ask a question. Wednesday, I'm going to post a thought-provoking video. Thursday, I'm going to share my testimony, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, the options are limitless. Okay, so have a plan. We want you to dialogue. Interact with what you're putting out there. Don't just drop it like a bomb and walk away, okay? Interact with them. Ask questions. Do some follow-up texting. Hey, did you see that video I posted? What'd you think about it? Have some questions ready to ask in the dialogue. We want you to care. We want to see people not as a project, but as a person. This isn't a project. It's not a mission project. This is an opportunity for us to interact with people with the gospel. And that's exactly what it is. So that means you need to listen to the things that they're saying. The things that they're saying are going to help you know what issues they're dealing with, right? If they are saying, man, I really wish that we had prom next weekend, maybe you can start there, okay? Or maybe, I'm really struggling in math. Hey, if you're good at math, help them, tutor them, okay? Now's a good time for that. That can start some conversations, okay? And then we want you to share. We want you to share the hope that you have. All right. And the hope that you have is the hope of Christ, the hope of glory. And so that is just something that we want you to do, is to testify to the things that you already know about. And you already know that Christ has saved you and has redeemed you, and you can share that. And then finally, report. Molly's going to cover that in one of our later videos, is how you tell us about these conversations, because they may need some follow-up. You might lead a person to Christ and you want them to get plugged into our student ministry, to our church. You'll need to connect them to one of our pastors. Or maybe you have a question you don't know how to answer, and you say, well, hey, can I connect you with my pastor? And maybe after all this settles down, we can have a Zoom chat, or we can go to coffee maybe when they open their coffee shops back up, whatever. That's the kind of things we're wanting to instigate and to start. And so that's a communication device to help us know how better to follow up. Okay, and so that's the what that we're wanting you to do. We're wanting you to share the good news of your faith in Jesus Christ through any medium that you have. All right? And so we're praying for you. We are praying expectantly, and we think this is going to be a huge time. Whether you're a student or an adult or a child, anywhere in between, this is for you. All right? And so we want you to, we say a lot to go and be the church. This is part of it, is shining a light in a dark place. And that's our world. And so we love you. We're praying for you, and we can't wait to hear all the results that are going to come from this. God bless.